This vlog is about the assignment I had from my English professor to interview someone from the generation that is 50 years or older. I chose to interview my paternal grandparents on the subject of food traditions and meal recipes from their childhood and both from their married life. I interviewed them at their house one morning at the same time. What I learned from that is that when interviewing two people at one time, it can be hard to get all the information down. I also learned that I will work harder to make more clear questions for them. I found my grandparents struggling to understand exactly what I was asking them. So when preparing for my next interview, I'll have that in mind. I enjoyed the information that I got from my grandparents. It gave me a glimpse into their daily lives, and I also got to hear some cool stories from their childhood. For example, my grandfather talked about his community's stir-off, where their whole neighborhood would come together to cook several tins of molasses. It was interesting for me to hear about this big party that they had to come make molasses because my family, never had anything like that growing up. It gave me a glimpse into the different traditions of that generation. Another interesting fact that I learned was that they grew almost all of their food and they raised livestock to get the meats that they wanted. Hearing that was impressive to me because they worked a lot harder for what they had and for what they got than I ever did in my childhood and than I ever do right now. It made me really appreciate where they had come from and how hard they had worked to get there. I also learned a lot about the tradition, about my family from that generation, and learning the traditions that they grew up with and seeing how that they are the ones that we continue to have in our family was very cool. I enjoyed this assignment because it gave me a glimpse into my family's history and also a lot of interesting knowledge about where my grandparents came from and their traditions from their childhood.